What's up, football fans? It's your boy Noname, back at it with another video, another installment in my NFL 2019 season primer series. That is quite the mouthful. But moving on with the series, today we'll be talking about top 5 tight ends who I think are the top 5 tight ends currently in the league. Of course, this is just all my opinion. You're welcome to disagree with it. Let me know in the comments below. Of course, you're also welcome to agree with it. That goes without saying. I'm gonna try and make these videos a bit shorter because like 18 minutes is a lot of stuff to edit and whatnot. So I'm gonna just try and make it a bit shorter with all the videos from here on out. So first things first, the honorable mentions. I really only have like 2 or 3 of them. The big one being Rob Gronkowski, quite possibly the best NFL tight end in history. So the stuff Gronk has done throughout his career and what he's accomplished as a tight end is amazing. The only reason he's not on this list is purely because he retired. If he was still an NFL player, he'd be in the top 3 as he should, even though past couple of years he's really been a shell of himself because of the injuries and whatnot. But I just want to make it clear, the only reason that Gronk isn't on this list is because he's retired. Another honorable mention would be Kyle Rudolph of the Minnesota Vikings. He's somebody that I think is underrated, but he's also underused, and so he doesn't have the numbers to back up what I think is his potential. I couldn't really put him in there because there's these other guys, they really produce. They really have the numbers to show for their hard work and whatnot, and that does play a big part of this. And I wanted to mention Evan Ingram of the Giants. He had sort of a down year, as the Giants did in general. I'm pretty sure if we had a better quarterback play and better offensive play in general, he would have put up stats that rival those of his rookie year. But with that being said, let's get right into it. Coming in at number 5, I got Jared Cook of the Oakland Raiders, or now I'm pretty sure he's on the Saints after free agency. Real quick, his stats that he posted up were 896 yards off of 101 targets, 6 touchdowns, averaging 13.2 yards per catch. Now, Cook is the oldest guy I got on this list. He's got around 9 or 10 years of experience in the NFL, and it's something that he uses to the utmost of his ability. He uses that to forward his ability as a tight end, as an athlete in the NFL. This past year on the Raiders, he was really one of the only targets that Derek Carr had, and then after the Amari Cooper trade, he really was the only target on that team, the only offensive weapon they could use for anything, and he took that and ran with it. Produced very well, has a nice strength to him, not really too fast, but he really makes up for that with his tough running ability after the catch and all that. This past season with the Raiders was probably the best of his career, and he's had an interesting career, to say the least. He had average up until that season with the Rams. I think it was 2014 and 2015 where he went without a touchdown at all. Then he went to the Packers, where it's his career was reignited with Aaron Rodgers. And then he got a big deal in free agency from the Raiders, and consequently had his best NFL career year yet. Since he's on the downside of 30, for the future, I think that this would be his ceiling. There's not much more he can do from here unless he becomes a Frank Gore type of player that just continuously posts consistent numbers and whatnot. But Jared Cook on the list because of what he does at his age and because he was the best weapon on his team. Next up on the list was one of the breakout stars of the year, Eric Ebron of the Indianapolis Colts, originally from Detroit Lions. Real quick, his stats were 750 yards off of 66 catches, of averaging 11.4 yards per catch with 13 touchdowns. I'm relatively sure that he led the league in tight end touchdowns, I'm pretty sure. One thing when I think back to this year is that he had a breakout year, and everybody says it's a change of scenery that caused this. I personally just think it was also a change of offensive talent around him. He definitely got an upgrading quarterback, going from Matthew Stafford to Andrew Luck, who is definitely one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but also with Frank Reich as your head coach, who has become sort of an offensive mastermind since his run in Philly and now in Indianapolis. I think it was just a lot of things played out correctly for him, and he was a touchdown machine this year. Back when the Colts, earlier in the year when they were like 1-5 or something like that, before they went on their amazing run to make it to the playoffs, he was the only life on that offense. He was Luck's favorite target the entire year. Every time this dude was catching something, it seemed he was in the end zone. And that's one of the main reasons I have him up there. He has a nose for the end zone. He has like a special like hidden talent for always getting the ball to get a touchdown. That's why he led the league in tight end touchdowns. His time with the Colts just also revealed talents that nobody really observed from him because of how quiet he was with the Lions. Turns out he's faster and stronger than we ever thought he was. And like I said, I think it has something to do with the change in scheme and head coach and basically improvements all around him. But he definitely capitalized upon it, and he's a force to be reckoned with now. I expect to see great things from him because he's still relatively young. So let's go on to number 3. And this is somebody who, unlike Ebron, didn't have a breakout year. More so, it was just like a consistent rise from 2017 or 2016 to now, and that's Zack Ertz of the Philadelphia Eagles. His stats really quickly were 1,163 yards off of 116 receptions, averaging exactly 10 yards per catch with 8 touchdowns. Now, I said that he had a pretty consistent rise instead of more so one breakout year, and this season is a testament to that. He went from being an extremely good tight end to one of the more elite talents in the league. I mean, the elite numbers are there to prove it. He went from, I think, around 800 or 700 yards the previous season, 824, I just pulled it up, to a whopping 1,163. And it's crazy because Ertz, it's not like he's a flashy tight end or anything like that. He's one of those players that is just really good at everything that he does. Similar to my wide receivers group, where Michael Thomas was DeAndre Hopkins, who was my number 1 wide receiver, was just amazingly good at everything that he does, and that was something that produced a great wide receiver. Zack Ertz is very similar. He's just amazingly good at what he does. He just catches balls that are put up there by his quarterback, whether it's Nick Foles or Carson Wentz. And that's another thing I like to talk about. Everybody knows that when it comes to the quarterback situation in Philly, Ertz was a favorite target of Nick Foles and not so much of Carson Wentz. And that's not saying any type of drama or anything. It's just that Foles was very comfortable throwing to Ertz, and Wentz was comfortable with spreading the ball a little bit more evenly, which is why it's surprising that even with Wentz on the field more this year, or more in the 2018 season than in the 2017 season, Ertz still managed to post up monster numbers. He's an absolutely great tight end. While the Philadelphia offense was not great this year, he definitely wasn't the problem. This guy came out and played as hard as he could every game. Whenever he got the ball, he made the most of it. I mean, 1,000-yard season from your tight end, that's something amazing. That's something every team should hope for. I mean, I expect him to become a favorite target of Carson Wentz now, because with Foles, he proved that he could do something amazing. So look out for Zack Ertz next season. He might have a similar or maybe even a better one that he did this year, especially with Philadelphia looking to come back, looking to avenge themselves from their horrible playoff loss and trying to get back into a Super Bowl winning team, because their window is still open. You know, they still have a lot of good players. They still have a lot of good people on offense, Ertz being one of the main ones. And if Carson Wentz can stay healthy, I think he's going to be monstrous. Moving on to number 2, we got another breakout season here, only his second year in the league, George Kittle of the San Francisco 49ers. His breakout season stats were 1,337 yards off of 88 receptions, averaging 15.6 yards per reception with 5 touchdowns. This guy is absolutely amazing, man. In just his second season, he led the league in yardage for tight ends. And his jump from his first season is even more stupendous. This guy went from 515 yards to 1,300 plus. And he did it without the star quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. He did it with the backup and then the backup's backup. I forgot their backup's name. But then Nick Mullins, the third string quarterback that was a sensation for a while, the NFL kind of went gaga over him for a little while when he came in, and turned out he was like starter caliber or better than they expected. He did it with quarterbacks that weren't even supposed to get him the ball properly. And this guy's speed is something I don't think is really rivaled. I mean, the only other tight end that comes to mind when I think about speed would be, my Giants' own Evan Ingram. But the way Kittle uses his speed, he's not very agile. He's just really fast and strong too. I mean, there's one catch in particular I think about. I think I might put it in there against the Arizona Cardinals. It was sort of like a screen pass, a little bit. It looked like it, but he took it from basically the line of scrimmage to like 15 yards up in like the span of 2 seconds. It was like that, like as quick as a snap. And he got through it by the combination of his strength and his speed, and that's really what got him this season. He knew how to use his speed to get downfield. He knew how to use his strength to get through coverages and just basically bulldoze through guys and get down all the way into the end zone. He was really a force to be reckoned with this season. It was really his pure athleticism and really good hands that led him to be the face of this Kyle Shanahan offense, which, is always good to be part of a great offensive scheme. But he took advantage of it, and not only that, he's just pure raw talent. It's amazing because he was like a 7th round pick, and now he turns out to be one of the best tight ends in the league. And since he's so young, I think he might take that title as the best tight end in the league next year. It's not very hard for me to see that. This guy is simply amazing. The highlights speak for itself. Speed, power, it's all there, and he has great hands. I absolutely love George Kittle. Actually, he's one of my favorites on this list because I'm kind of going to go off on like a mini rant right here. What George Kittle is what I want Evan Ingram to be. Like the way he just uses his body and his talent is what I want for Evan Ingram. But that's a story for another day. Now I'm done going gaga over George Kittle. The number 1 tight end in the league, at least in my opinion, shouldn't be a surprise to you guys by now. Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs. And Kelce has been a top 3 tight end for the past 3 years. But this is the year the title really he both earned it and it kind of fell to it because of Gronk's decline and eventual retirement. But that's not to take away anything from Kelce. He posted 1,336 yards, 10 touchdowns, 103 catches, 150 targets, and averaged 13 yards per catch. Kelce has proven to the NFL that he's the perfect tight end mix you could ask for. While there's Kittle with his strength and speed, Kelce makes up for everything else that he lacks. He has strength, speed, power, explosiveness, football IQ, size, hands, and just pure skill that I haven't really seen at the tight end position. Other than Gronk. There's always going to be that disclaimer there for this. The person that comes a close second in terms of matching all those things would be Zack Ertz, but Kelce just does it at another level. And he's been doing it, like I said now, for about 3-4 years now. He did it with his former quarterback, Alex Smith. Now he's doing it with one of arguably the best quarterbacks in the league, which will only benefit him in Patrick Mahomes. And of course, it's all under Andy Reid's great scheme. But Kelce is the perfect tight end you could ask for. That's all I can really say, man. And it shows not only his stats, but when you go to the team, he's only second in usage rate to Tyreek Hill, who is their best receiver on the team and arguably who is an even more dangerous weapon than Kelce is. And the best thing about Kelce is that with all this talent and his gigantic size and all his production, he manages to stay healthy. I don't think he's really ever been injured since he stepped into the league, and that's really helping him out. Of course, the best ability in football is availability, and he's proven that with his consistent production over the past couple years and consistent just showing up to games because he's always healthy. And real quick, I was about to end it off there, but another thing I forgot to mention was he's also great at route running, probably the best on this list here. So, there you have it. My top 5 tight ends in the league as of right now. Running back down the list, Jared Cook, Eric Ebron, Zack Ertz, George Kittle, and Travis Kelce. Let me know what you all think. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Do you think I should have put Gronk on the list, even though, I very clearly said at the beginning, the only reason he's not here is because he's retired, and this is supposed to be a primer series for the next season. Is there anybody else you want to see on this list? Or did the list have everybody you thought would be there just in a different order? Whatever it is, let me know down below in the comments. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm out. You're...